Yes, and I am live going. So yes, hi there. I'm sitting here on Zicatela Beach, which is a beach in on the south Pacific coast of the state of Oaxaca, Mexican state of Oaxaca, named after the popular English restaurant, Mexican restaurant. But this blog's going to cover our week travelling 5, which is in Oaxaca City, which is actually the capital of the state, as you might be able to guess, and probably about, well, it took us like an 11-hour bus journey to get from there to here, but that was kind of slow. But that was what we were doing last week, where we were for Mexico's Day of the Dead. So anyone who's been to Mexico or is smarter than I was before I got here will know that Day of the Dead isn't actually a day. It's actually like a week-long sort of festival of festivities that goes on across all of Mexico really, but Oaxaca's, we'd heard, was one of the best places to go and see how they kind of do it, and we were right, because it was absolutely amazing, obviously. So Day of the Dead, which people probably know, is a time of year, like a kind of festival or celebration where Mexican people remember their sort of friends and family who've died. And actually the really traditional remembrance of the day is they actually believe that they physically come back to the world on over that week. And so what a lot of Mexican people do is kind of build these kind of homages. I can't remember the word they use, but basically these little shrines to their dead friends and family, which are kind of really amazing and beautiful. Loads of flowers, loads of kind of yellows and oranges, and then leave out loads of food and beers and stuff to kind of remember all of the dead people who've been before. So we stayed there for a week, and every single night there was just loads of stuff going on in the streets, like loads of Mexican marching bands just randomly going around, loads of people with their faces painted. It was just like a big party across the city, really. I'm going to take the advice of someone, the unwelcomed advice / constructive criticism on my last blog, and actually start to chop in some little videos. So I've downloaded an app called Video Editor. So to give you a taste of what we got, so even the first day we arrived in Oaxaca, not really sure what to see, and there was this crazy party going in the streets, which you can see here. So pretty mental. They're like actual fireworks spinning around, going off in people's faces. There's fireworks going off all the time in Oaxaca. There's just people running around. Like I said, it's just a one big party. One amazing thing we did one night was go to Jojo, which is like a little town that's just outside of Oaxaca, to kind of see the two main cemeteries there. So on one night specifically, everyone and their gran and their dog and their kids all go down to the cemeteries, and every single one of the graves gets kind of decorated with loads of candles and flowers. And I posted a load of photos of these on my Insta, and I'm going to drop in a couple just here so you can see what I'm talking about. But it doesn't really do it justice, because it's just this huge big graveyard with candles and flowers, and everyone stays there. A lot of people stay there all night long. We hung out there for a few hours, and it's kind of a weird thing, because you're walking around a graveyard and kind of trying not to literally step on people's graves, but then all of the local people are there just drinking and eating and partying with their families, so that's kind of cool. We had a go at having a big night out one night. We got properly face painted up, which you may have seen some photos of. And we had a really good night. Me and Rich and Sam, who actually joined us now, so 2 became 3, so we've actually got 3 party 3, which is actually good for Rich, because he's got an extra person that can try and drink with him, and yeah, good for all of us really, because it's just great to have an extra kind of person in the crew. On the day that Sam had arrived from New York, we'd heard about this thing called Festival Dia de Muertos, so Festival of Day of the Dead, which was actually like a sort of mini tiny little festival way out. And actually we got a cab there, and it took us ages, like well over an hour, to get out in the middle of nowhere to this desert. And we got there and there was just a few hundred people in a field. Rich maintains it was one of the best nights of his life. Me and Sam stayed for a couple of hours and left because it was absolutely freezing and there wasn't that much going on. But I don't know, it was kind of cool. Maybe my festival standards are a bit high after being spoilt all these years in England. But all told, Oaxaca was just such a cool city. It was an amazing time to be there. All of the decorations and all of the flowers and all the parties going on in the street. So yeah, feeling pretty awesome that we managed to be there for that. Oh, funny thing, which maybe if anyone's seen on Facebook, was that we got all these face paintings, which I show you. Rich couldn't wash his off, so he then spent the next 2 days walking around with like basically thick eye makeup, looking like he was from The Cure. Which, yeah, have a look at that. That's pretty funny. But yeah, overall it was absolutely class, and then we had to work out what we're going to do, so we came down here now, which is where we are on the beaches of Oaxaca. So I'll talk about that next time, because we're going to be here for at least a week, I think. But overall, Oaxaca Day of the Dead, absolutely spectacular. Also, by popular demand, I'm going to just clip in a couple of little videos just to taste here. I think I mentioned very briefly that mezcal, which some of you may know, is do you know what? I didn't even talk about what we did on the most amazing day of Oaxaca. We took this tour to these amazing, like, petrified waterfalls, which I'm going to clip in just a couple of photos here. Way up in the mountains, just these amazing little pools that you could see. It was spectacular and actually kind of unbelievable. So one final thing which I cannot forget to talk about because that was class. Life, oh life. Right, oh shit. I'm here at the biggest, literally the biggest tree in the world, widest tree in the world. Widest tree going. And I don't think this is doing it justice, but it is bloody massive. And okay, there's a couple of dogs going at it right over there. That is funny. But yeah, final point to walk down here. But yeah, the mezcal, we've drunk mezcal, and I tried to film a couple of vlogs when me and Rich had quite a big night there. So be warned, this is what can happen. And yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers. This is the best. I'm Donald Trump. This is the best vlog, the best video vlog I've ever.
I have no idea.